Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of The Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys taking a little time to check today's video out. And guys, today we're going to talk all about reel retrieves, as far as the speed to retrieve on a bait cast reel, the speed to retrieve on a spinning reel, and sort of tell you why it's important and go over and give you guys sort of a foundation if you're not real familiar with it. So I think it's going to be some good information for everybody. Real quick guys, before we get started, just wanted to let you know about a couple things that we're offering here on the channel. We do not only virtual lessons, but we also have lake map breakdowns. So if you are struggling with anything in your fishing, want to know more about a lake, you can book a virtual lesson with me through fishthemoment.com. I'll put the link in the description of this video. And also we have our lake map breakdowns that gives you guys good information on most all the lakes across the country if you're struggling to catch fish on your favorite lake. And I'll put those links in the description too, so much appreciated. Okay guys, let's start out basically a little bit, since fishing teacher is sort of for people wanting to learn more about how to fish that don't know as much about fishing. The retrieve ratio on a reel, or the gear ratio, varies a lot. And basically what it does, it's a measurement of how much line is taken up on one turn of the reel like that. How many feet of line actually do you reel in on one turn of the line? Now, this has changed a lot on both spinning reels and bait cast reels over the years, because back years ago when reels just first came out, a lot of them just had like a 3-to-1, which means that on one turn of the reel like that, there was only 3 feet of line being taken up, and now you've got as much as like 8-to-1, 9-to-1. So you got like triple the amount of line taken up on one turn of the reel with different gear ratios now. Now, this is not necessarily good all the time, because I want to talk a little bit about gear ratios and why they're important. Just because a reel is faster doesn't mean that's better. It can under certain situations, but not all the time, because what happens is most of the time on a faster ratio gear, say you got like one of the new fangled 8 or 9-to-1 ratio reels, as the amount of line is taken up with the turn of the handle, you lose power and you lose torque. So for example, if you're fishing a bait that pulls a lot, say you're fishing a deep diving crankbait that really fights you a lot, or you're fishing a big heavy bait, a lot of times you need the power. You don't necessarily need that fast retrieve, but you need more torque. So therefore a lower ratio reel is going to be better for you. But say for example, if you're casting a plastic worm, or you're pitching or flipping a jig into a boat dock or something like that, and you're working the bait like this, and you're not really reeling it very much like that, you're working it more with the rod tip, a lot of the times a fast retrieve, you can get that bait in real quick to make another cast, and it just makes you more efficient. Or maybe if you're fishing a lipless crankbait or some type of a crankbait, you can have a faster retrieve without expelling the energy of going like that real quick. You don't have to turn as fast to get the lure to come in. So in essence, the ratio, the gear ratio of the reel you want is dependent upon your technique. Now in my personal situation, and I'm going to give you guys a good little piece of advice here, I use one gear ratio all the time, and because it's simple for me. Even though I can buy a reel that's got anywhere between like a 4-to-1 ratio on up to 8 or 9-to-1, I choose a 7-to-1 ratio reel all the time, simply because I would prefer to have something that feels the same in my hand all the time. So if I want to slow it down, I'll just slow my reel handle down. If I need to speed it up, I'll speed it up. And yeah, I may not have the perfect ratio and torque for every situation, but for me, it's just more about being comfortable. Like when I get comfortable with a 7-to-1 reel, I know exactly how fast my lure is going to come in based upon how fast I reel it, because it's all I use. I'm just real familiar with it. So there's sort of a give and take, and also it's cheaper. I mean, you can go out, guys, and you can get 4.3-to-1s, you can get 5-to-1s, you can get 6.3-to-1s, you can get 7.5-to-1s, 8. It just goes on and on. And if you bought every dang ratio reel, I mean, you'd have a freaking fortune tied up in reels. So my advice is get you a spinning reel that's got something between a 5-to-1 to 6-to-1 on it. Get you a bait caster that's got 7-to-1 and just call it good. I think that is going to accomplish everything you need to accomplish. So anyway, guys, that's just my 2 cents worth. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk later. See you.